What up, peeps? What's up? How you doing? Hey, Running Gang, Myra Peoples, what is up? I think I'm just gonna keep this kind of quick because people are. It's a lot going on Instagram right now, so I'm just gonna get started. First of all, what's up? I hope that you are surviving the craziness that is today, or maybe it's not a lot for you, which is great. But I'm doing good. I'm doing really well, actually. I'm really excited because I just got done having a conversation not too long ago about like what motivates you and what gets you, what gets you going, what keeps you creative. And I just felt like I had to share like this year as quickly as I can because I feel like there's a lot that happened. But the beginning of this year, I was feeling like I just was burnt out. Like I was like, what's going to happen in the next couple of months? Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to produce? Hey, Nurse Diva B, what am I going to produce? What is it that I have to offer? As a person, like really questioning my value. And y'all can hear my son's about to try to come in here. And the thing that I was really inspired to share with the group that I was talking to is that I was really inspired to create more the more I learned about myself. And as I was saying it, I didn't realize, I didn't make that connection at first. It was like, I was so focused on what should I do? What do I have to offer people? What kind of business can I start? And the thing that was crazy about all of it is that I didn't have to, I was putting my value in too many different things. And it was like, I'm this, I'm that. These are all these titles were making up who I am as a person, but my value is not negotiable. Like it doesn't change no matter what I do or no matter what I produce, or even when I make mistakes or when I fall short or fail. It doesn't come from anything other than God or Jesus, like my relationship and with Christ. And so the thing that was so awesome about the journal, the soul care journal, is that the journal was for me, y'all. Like straight up, like the journal wasn't really for anybody else when I first made it. It was for me because I needed a place to process my emotions. I needed a place to really understand what was going on inside, because what was inside was what I needed to produce. And it was because who I am, what I went through, my story, my life is what was going to connect and resonate with other people. Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, and we tell ourselves we have to be an expert to start at something. But the thing that's crazy about that is that we are already experienced in something. But we are looking at other people's experiences, comparing ourselves, looking at what someone else is doing, and maybe we see where we want to be in our lives. Hey, Marseille, where we want to be in our lives. And we see that as a goal for ourselves or aspiration for ourselves. But where we need to start is with what we already have. And that's why the title of this is Stop Sleeping on Yourself, because you already have so much inside of you already. There's so many things, so many experiences that you've had, everything that you've gone through, even the things that aren't related to a degree or a certificate. It still makes up who you are. And the thing that is so important, especially going into this next year, is that people are not paying for information, they're paying for experience. Okay, like that's what people connect to, that's what people resonate with. They resonate with your story. And how are you going to express that to people? How are you going to share that with people if you have not taken that time to understand, what do I have to offer? What experiences have I gone through in my life that would resonate with somebody else? And that's why I felt like I had to come on here and say it, because even when, hi Maya, even when it comes to and when it comes to the things that are going on with Black Friday, or when it comes to the holidays coming up, we get very tempted to put everybody else before us. And there's nothing wrong with giving. There's nothing wrong with being willing to share, that is a person who's a giver, a person who's gracious, who's always hospitable. That is an important trait to have. But what you also have to remember is that, it's, you have to be able to understand who you are and what you have to offer. And you may have a lot to offer that is not a tangible thing, like you may have a story to share that's going to do more for somebody than a gift ever could. Then that makeup, whatever you're getting your friends or your family, it can give you way more than what you already have to give people. And so the thing that I want to encourage you all to do is that even if it's not with a journal, and maybe the journal is not your thing, I want you to really put yourself first this year. Before this year is over, put yourself first. Yes. Oh, that's a good question, nurse. I'm gonna answer that in a second. But yeah, so put yourself first, because in going into this year, if any of you has this desire to be I feel like it's just going to be a lot of people who are going to be influencers, who's going to be content creators, who are going to be coaches, who are going to offer services to people that are valuable, that are packaged, that you can package into something that you can share with other people. And I think that would lend to your question, Nurse Diva B, is that your experiences can really be what people need in order to get to the next place in their life, or maybe to get out of a certain mindset that has been keeping them back, or relationships that may have been keeping them back, or negative thinking. All of that, all of those things can be what you can use in order to, for one, make yourself profitable, because it's important to have money. We need money, but also to really pursue what you're passionate about, because I just have this suspicion that there are a lot of people who have this desire to do something more than what you're doing right now. And I get it. Like, it's really frustrating, because you're like, I just don't feel content. I don't feel fulfilled in what I'm doing. And it's because you don't know what it is that you have to offer. Like you're settling for a certain version of yourself. You're settling for a certain position in your life. And what you really need to do is go in and really find out who you are. Get reacquainted with yourself, so that when you are ready to go out into the world and really make an impact, you're already aware. You already know what you have to offer, and you can speak about it confidently, because again, you don't need degrees, you don't need certificates. Your experience is what is going to be profitable. It's what's going to resonate with people. It's what's going to draw people to you. And it's what's going to really make you show up and feel fulfilled in your life. And, and it doesn't have to be a full-time entrepreneur position. Maybe that's not your thing, but even if it's starting a blog, starting a YouTube channel, showing up on social media, being more than just somebody who's a consumer, but being somebody who is putting something valuable into the world, because that's what we're all created to do. All of us are created to do that. Yes. Yes. I'm so grateful that is blessing you. Oh, you were thinking out loud. That's okay. That's fine. No, because I felt like it was going in that direction. So I thank you for asking that question out loud. But yeah, so it's just, and I think that it's been like that for a lot of us. This year has been that way for a lot of us. It's causing us to reflect on it. And so my challenge would be that after we have that reflection, what are we doing with that information? And to just be a little bit more personal with you guys. One of the things that I learned about myself this year is that I am a great listener. I'm a great listener. Like, that's just something that I do naturally. I listen for fun. You don't have to pay me to do it. I'm going to ask you questions. I really want to get to know, because I just want to be able to connect with you and empathize with you. And that's a void in the world. People need more listeners. People need more people who are not trying to jump on you and tell you what to do, give you their judgments, give you their advice. They just need somebody to give you space to process your emotions. And I was sleeping on that, y'all. I was sleeping on myself so hard. I was like, everybody listens. That's not a skill. That's not something that people need. And it turns out that is actually that's a huge void, and there is a place for me. And that's something that I've been doing all of my life. even in college, like people would always comment on how I can zone in on you when I'm talking to you. Like if we're having a conversation, I'm not breaking eye contact. I can't hear what other people are saying because I'm really here with you in this moment. I'm tuning in with you. I'm connecting with you. And that's a skill. And so, what the Lord has been working with me throughout this year is that, to step out on that, lean into that more, and don't be afraid to use this as a way to, one, add value to the world, and to also be able to open up the possibility for people to learn about themselves more so that they can go out and do the same thing that I've been doing this year. Yes, yeah, people don't be listening. People don't be listening. And it's something that you can teach people to do. Like you can learn how to listen. It's a skill. It's a skill. And it just so happens that it's one of the things that I'm strongest in. It comes to me very easily. And so, but that's, yeah, it's so important. But all of us have a skill. All of us have something that is important that we put out into the world because it's so necessary. And so I felt like, it had to be said right now. I don't know why it had to be on Black Friday. I just feel like it's kind of like a weird thing to talk about. It's kind of counterintuitive. But if you're just coming in, I'm talking about, not sleeping on yourself. And I'm talking about the things that you have, the skills that you are sleeping on because you've settled into a version of yourself that is not fulfilling you. And so I want you guys to like rock with me for a little bit and let me know, like, what's a skill that comes naturally to you? Like what comes easily to you? What's something that you don't have to think about? You would do it for free. It's not, it's not something that you have to work hard at. You really do it well. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant like singing or, I mean, that's not, yeah, you get what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be anything that you've seen other people do, but what comes naturally to you? Or, what do people compliment you on often? Or what do people come to you for often? Okay, so Maya says that writing, uplifting others. Maya, I feel like I remember you writing. Like, did you have like a blog or something? Because I feel like you did do something like that before. Inspiring others. Yes, Nurse DV, that's important. Inspiring others. Inspiration is what gets us started. Inspiration is so important. That's so good. Okay. I'm waiting for some other people. If you're having a hard time thinking about it, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just like what comes naturally. Even speaking. Maybe you're a good speaker. Maybe you're very skilled at articulating yourself and getting that out with people. Marseille said helping people, encouraging people, listening. Yes. Ooh, y'all. First of all, Marseille is my cousin, and she will get you going. If you tell her that you are going to do something, she will get you going. She's so encouraging. She's actually the reason why I'm so in love with entrepreneurship now. Like she's the second entrepreneur. My aunt's the first one, but she's one of the people who's been doing it since day one. Like she is legit an entrepreneur, and she's been so good. She's been so helpful to me. You're in the process of starting a blog and an Instagram page. Yes, Maya, I feel like you may have to do some speaking too. Writing is important, and I think that you should definitely go with that. But I feel like you have some stuff to say, and you just ain't said it yet. Okay, be intentional wellness, encouraging others, providing support and accountability. Ooh, yes, and the accountability piece that resonates with me for real because once we've got people excited and once we have them encouraged, we want to be sure that when the motivation slips that you are still sticking to your commitments. So that is so good that you are good at that. You are talented. You have a lot I know you do. I know you have a lot to say. I can tell. I can tell. And I would be interested to know, like what stops you from doing it. You don't have to put it in here. You can definitely like DM me and let me know. But what's stopping you from saying it? For me, I know that because I'm talented at listening. I'm also talented at speaking. That's something that I do naturally as well. And I felt like I had to just like be quiet. because I'm so used to just being the person that listens, and I was worried that nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. But it turns out, that was a lie. That was a lie. I have something important to offer. I've lived a life. I've had experiences. God speaks to me too, and there are things that I have to say that will resonate with people. So that was why I stayed quiet for a long time. I kind of hid behind pictures, you know, or performing. Like as long as I didn't have to open my mouth, I was comfortable. And speaking definitely like pushes me out of my comfort zone. Yes, accountability is very important. It's so important. So I want to thank you guys for sharing that with me. You definitely didn't have to. I really appreciate that, and I want you to like take this opportunity to you know, give yourself a couple of minutes and explore that. If you're not already doing something that is in the area of where you've expressed your strengths, just sit there and think about it. Think about what you can do, or even think about why you're not doing it. I think that's a better question. Ask yourself, why am I not doing it yet? What's stopping me? What's limiting me? And I believe that when you ask yourself that question, you will discover that there isn't anything actually stopping you except for you. Which, we can be our hardest opponents. We don't need enemies because we got ourselves fighting against us. So, to give yourself a few moments, gift yourself a few minutes to just write that down, and ask yourself, am I doing this? And if I'm not, what's stopping me? And if you are looking for a space to do that, the journals again have been such a great tool to get those things out of me, in a place where I don't have to feel judged or condemned, or I don't have to hear somebody else telling me what to do with that information. I can just process it and then hear God for myself, and then act on that. So the journals you can get the free copy, you can get the physical copy. They've been such a blessing to everybody who's already gotten them, and that is not me. That is all God. It's all God. And it's just because it just comes from you taking that moment to invest in yourself, because time is an investment, because time is valuable. And you take that moment to invest in yourself, and you're going to get such a great reward for doing that. So, however you need to do it, whether it's talking it out, using voice memo, writing it down, however you need to get that information out, please take that moment and give it to yourself, okay? And if you have any desire to go further in that, if you feel stuck in that, please reach out to me. You can DM me. I respond to everybody's DMs. That's not spammy. I know y'all, so y'all not spam. I know that. So as long as you're not coming in, doing nothing crazy, I'm going to respond to you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of my time so that you can have somebody to bounce those ideas off of. And my promise to you is that I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how you should act on that. I'm just going to give you the space to talk about it, okay? So I thank you guys for giving me your time, for sharing it with me, and for being so interactive and inspiring, encouraging for me. Like you encourage me just by logging on. And I pray that you have a day of peace, a day of rest, a fun day. Just have fun today. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, actually. I'm going to come on with my girlfriend, my sis, and we're going to talk some more. So I'll talk to you guys soon.